course, the budget was presented. The media budget review was presented. Debate on it has happened on the floor of the House. And there are quite a lot of talking points from the budget. Also, the calls for a debate, a presidential debate, are becoming stronger and stronger, especially from those on the MPP side who are looking to get the NDC to get their flag bearer to do a debate. But will it happen? Should it happen? And if it should happen, what will be the effect? We'll talk about that as well here on the show. So we'll get into it right away. But let me still remind you, valued customer of MTN, that MTN is undertaking a network upgrade across the country. As a result, you may experience some disruption in some services during the period. So MTN is apologizing for any inconvenience this may cause. So, any inconvenience this may cause, MTN says, we are sorry. But they need to make the network better because they're undertaking network upgrades across the country. So if you are experiencing some disruptions in some of the services during the period, the inconvenience is deeply regretted. So make sure that you bear that in mind. Mr. Kwame Jantwa, good morning. How are you doing today?
I am fine. Tired though, but I'm fine.
Tired from doing what?
Talking.
Are you seeing change? Because your talking is geared at bringing change. It's geared at getting the duty bearers to listen.
It's a question of whether they're listening.
Do you believe they are?
I don't think
they
so.
hear you, don't they?
I don't think so. 742 million debt.
Yes, billion CDs.
It's challenging.
Yeah,
it's really challenging. We are faced with it. Every Ghanaian would have to pay 24,000 CDs. 31 million population. Every Ghanaian.
Every single person.
Yes.
Owes 24,000 CDs.
How many people earn 24,000 CDs in Ghana today?
How many people earn even 3,000 CDs?
Yes. So that's the challenge.
Yeah, so we'll have to start saving up so that we can save Ghana from high debt distress.
That's the challenge.
Palgrave, good morning.
Good morning, Lantam.
How are you doing?
I'm well. It's good to be here. This week I've been meditating on God's word in 2 Timothy 4:7. That says that I have fought the good fight, I have finished the course, and I have kept the faith. And I am
this is something President Akufo-Addo quoted sometime back.
But I am also very confident that at the end of President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo's tenure, these words will be reflective of his sterling leadership in this country. And very good morning to your viewers and your listeners. And it's good to be here. I've been told that all politics is local, and so let me greet the good people of Achime-Buakwa North constituency. Let me greet my regional chairman, Chairman Jeff, and let me send a hearty birthday celebrations and congratulations to the commander, the NPP national organizer, Nana B. Today is his birthday.
Oh, really?
And so let me send a very happy birthday to him.
Big happy birthday.
Let me greet the flag bearer of the new Patriotic Party, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is in the Upper East and Northeast region now. As I speak to you today, he would be in Yagaba Kobore. He would be in Busa South and Busa North, doing constituency one-on-one engagement, sharing his vision, sharing his policies, sharing his ideals. And I mean, no doubt in my mind that with the support of the running mate, the Honorable Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe, who yesterday was in the Eastern region and exchanged pleasantries and felicitations with the Okwapim Hene. And this year is a very exciting year. The mid-year budget has been reviewed. Government is willing to pump in about 8.2 billion
was it a good
Ghana cedis
in the
SMEs.
Was it a good presentation done by the finance minister?
To be honest,
because let's get right on into it.
To be honest,
minority in parliament says that the budget was very uninspiring.
No, you
very
see,
uninspiring.
You
that's
see,
what the minority says.
I've been here for a while. Not too long than lawyer has been, but at least I've been here for a while. And I look at this mid-year budget review, and I can tell you on authority that this is one of the most inspiring, refreshing, okay, inspiring, refreshing, hopeful mid-year budget reviews. I'm being very honest with
Really,
you.
what makes it inspiring? What makes
So
it
so when you look at
refreshing?
a government that has hit rock bottom, look at a government that has gone through eminent challenges. You look at a government that the economy is growing at 4.7% compared to year on year when it was growing at 3.1%. You look at a government that is seeking to alleviate the plight of the poor people by investing close to about 5.4 billion in social intervention programs like free SHS, like school feeding, like LEAP. You look at a government an economy that is controlled by 80% SMEs, and government is injecting in 8.2 billion Ghana cedis into such an economy through the Ghana Enterprise Agencies, through the Development Bank, and through the Exim Bank, that all these SMEs will be able to go in and seek for these funds. You look at a government that, even though we have gone through a domestic debt exchange, we have been able to pay bondholders 12 billion Ghana cedis. You look at a government that has invested about 10 billion Ghana cedis into the road sector. Lots of infrastructural works that are ongoing in the length and breadth of this country. I am confident that this government has been so honest, so truthful, so transparent, because you see, a government that has sought to restructure our debt over the years, both external and both domestic, that has given us a bit of a breathing space. Lantam, it is not easy to have people knock at your door to tell you that you owe them. It gives you too much headache. And for a government to sit down, to have the Paris Club, to have all these international OCC creditors give us some relief in terms of a breathing space. A government that is going through an IMF program, and in the midst of going through an IMF program is able to see to it that even with the receiving of the third tranche, which brings us to about 1.6 million US dollars,
Billion
1.6 billion US dollars. You know, you can clearly see that the funds that we have received, we are using it to work to the much admiration of the Ghanaian people. I am happy I'm a Ghanaian. I'm happy with the leadership of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I'm happy with the leadership of his Vice President Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I'm happy with the future government from 2025 under the same New Patriotic Party as a government, and under the leadership of Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, with a lot more reforms that he's bringing in. And I've seen people make an argument about e-levy when the finance minister mentioned that all new roads are going to be tolled.
Yeah.
And people said that why don't you abolish e-levy now, because e-levy was to go into roads. And I beg to differ. When we had,
but we're told
when
one
we
of
had
the reasons why
one of the
the
reasons,
e-levy is
but
coming.
Yes, but
I mean, the road tolls are going is because the e-levy
but-
is coming in.
but-
The e-levy is going to handle all of these things, so we don't even need to pay road tolls.
But Lantam, between you
because
and
of
I,
e-levy.
but Lantam, between you and I,
Yeah.
when the former Minister for Finance read the budget at the time when he spoke about e-levy and spoke about road tolls, you recall very well that I'm not sure if it was a unanimous decision from government to abolish road tolls. I realized that there was a statement then that was issued from the Minister of Roads and Highways at the time, Amakwata,
Yeah,
abolishing road tolls.
Yeah.
But you see, I look at it in this way, that government is expanding new roads, government is building new roads. I've had some conversations that the new roads that are coming that we are going to toll is going to be digitized. Okay, digitized in the fact that they're not going to have those built brick and mortar structure where you have persons living with disabilities going there and risking their lives, because we know people that have perished as a result of their day-to-day work. I mean, just at Tema Motorway, a car crashes into them and on they go. And so you look at a government that is thinking forward, like it is in Europe, like it is in Americas, like it is in Latin America, in Asia, in Middle East. You see a lot more road tolls that are digitized. And I'm very confident that from 2025, when Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia take helm of affairs in this country, all new roads that will be told, as was stated by the Minister for Finance from 2025, will be told in this regard. And the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party has been very clear. He stated that in his vision statement that he's going to abolish e-levy. I mean, so there's a lot more innovative taxing reforms that Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is going to bring in. He stated very clearly that he took a team to Eritrea to be able to study the Eritrea taxing system and taxing reforms. And I think that, I mean, you must always learn from the best, and I commend that. I've not seen either the Eswal government or the opposition political party bring in some substantive policies that will be able to turn around the economy of this country. And so for me, when I look at this media budget review, I look at how hard the minister, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, had worked very, very hard. You know, I commend him. I commend his leadership. I commend the entire ministry for finance, because you see, to have a country go through such high level of debt. I mean, for me, my major encouragement is that we've been able to put a plan in place to restructure our debts. That's significant. That's key. It's important, really, that any government worth its salt should not continue accumulating debt, but put a plan in place.
Yeah, but in spite of that, our debt stock is still rising. I mean, we've done a domestic debt exchange program, give a lot of people haircuts, you know, among other things. We've been able to reach some agreements with some of our external creditors. We've been able to do that, and all of that. And you know, our debt stock, you know, a few months ago was hovering at around 600 billion. But the finance minister delivers the media budget review, and it's in excess of 700 billion Ghana cedis. So the debt stock keeps rising, you know, in spite of all of these interventions that have been put in place as far as, you know, our debt is concerned. So I mean, what is happening there?
No, you see, for me, I am very, very clear in my mind, really, that beyond the debt stock rising, government has put in a plan. Government has put in a plan to restructure that. That is important for me. You understand, Lantam? You know, it's so much headache when you owe. It doesn't give you breathing space.
Yeah.
You are frustrated.
Yeah.
And you make decisions that impact everybody. Just look at a small nuclear family when you are in debt to a bank, or you've taken a loan from someone. You can imagine every single money that comes, it goes away. You were playing a conversation with an MP, okay, and he mentioned that most of their vehicles are on loans. He mentioned that when they go to the constituency, everybody demands from them.
Yeah.
And so it's difficult when you owe. I am glad that our government has sought to give some breathing space, okay, to the macro economy we have within this country. And I think that in one space, we must commend that. In another space, we must be ready that in the future we'll be able to start paying our debts, both internally and both externally. But also to state that 12 billion Ghana cedis has been released to bondholders who received haircuts. And it's honest enough for a government to be honest with bondholders, for a government to be honest with external debtors, and have that conversation with them. And I'm glad that the honesty, the integrity of government is well accepted by the Ghanaian people. The integrity of government is well accepted by the international debtors that we have.
All right, Mr. Johntua, let me bring you in now. Of course, you listened to the media budget review, and you mentioned the debt stock. It's one of the very first comments that you made. You know, the current debt stock that was announced. But there were quite a lot of other things, you know, in the budget presentation that government believes, you know, indicates that we are making progress, that we are turning the corner as far as the economy is concerned. You agree?
Turning a corner.
I mean, things are getting better.
What better?
The economy is bouncing back.
Really?
Yes, it's beginning to show signs of improvement and signs of recovery.
I don't expect Palgrave to say anything than what he said. I don't expect it. He needs to market his party, irrespective of where they put Ghana. Unprecedented projects brings about unprecedented loans. Simple. To them, everything is unprecedented, and it goes with unprecedented loans. Look, President Rawlings. When you look at his loan, how should I put it? What he
The
took,
debt he accumulated.
the debt he accumulated, $10 billion. That includes 93 to 2000, 12 years of his military rule.
Yeah.
President Kufuor came in and increased it by 8 billion to 9.7. But President Kufuor also got 6.3 billion cancellation from HIPIC.
From HIPIC, yeah.
Then President Atamil comes in and also brings it up to 9.7, from 9.7 to nearly 36 billion. And I'm giving you the trajectory in this Fourth Republic, how our loans have risen. So, Atamils takes it to 36 billion. President Mahama comes in, and it rises again by 86 billion to 122 billion.
Talking about CDs.
CDs. Then President Akufo-Addo comes in, and it goes up to 620 billion addition. That brings to 742 billion. They should tell us, and conditional. The condition here, the other affiliates around it, is probably depreciation of the cedi. It's probably.
I mean, they say that's a key factor. I mean, the depreciation of the cedi is a key factor in how our debt
depreciation of
is
the
rising.
cedi is a key factor. Who is responsible to manage the depreciation of the cedi? Who is?
Well, there are market forces.
Who is?
There's speculation.
Who is?
There's been COVID-19 and Russia, Ukraine.
Please,
all
before
of that stuff has
COVID-19
happened.
and Russia, Ukraine came in, were we not under IMF? Were we not? During that time, were we not? And then let's look at accumulation of debt arrears. That also can contribute. But 620 billion cedis. They should show us what that money has been. They talk about what? What is it? 12,000 kilometer roads they've built. Is that what they tell us? Where they say it's unprecedented.
Yeah.
Drive around Accra. Drive around Accra and see all the side roads. Huh? See all the side roads. How bad and damaged they are. Even some of the main roads. Wouldn't it be a good thing during this rainy season to see maintenance vehicles on the roads, even patching the roads? Do we see it? And all this money Palgrave talks about, 12 billion here, this, then there, they pumped into the economy. Where is that money coming from? Isn't it domestic borrowing? Is that not piling up our debt? And this 742 million, isn't it still rising? So what are they trying to tell us? They should show us exactly. And I won't say a party has come into power and they haven't done anything. This particular government could have done more with the amount of money they got. And that is where the crux of the matter is. That's where the crux of the matter is. So they can come and spew all that kind of language that they are spewing. It doesn't bend anything, because in the end, the bottom line is the pocket of the Ghanaian. Are they feeling it? And you come and tell us you are bringing road tolls back. Have you not caused financial loss to the state? Have you not?
By removing the road
That
tolls.
duration where we haven't had road tolls, even if it was Capra coming in, will it not add to our revenue?
They would have.
But let me ask you. They said what? They are not taking any more loans this year. They're not asking for any more taxes.
Yeah.
Not loans,
And they are
taxes.
no more taxes. They're cutting down
If
significantly
you
on
are
expenditure.
not, listen, you are cutting down expenditure.
Yeah,
If
significantly.
you are not achieving your revenue targets, how can you now say you are spending? Are they achieving their revenue targets? They should tell us.
Well, in some instances, the GRA have, been able to.
Are they achieving their revenue
Exceed some of their
targets? I
targets.
said, are they achieving their revenue targets? Are they? They are not. And anyway, anybody who thought they could cut taxes, look, remember, this is a review of the budget that was read in November.
Yes.
It's a review.
Yes.
So anybody who expected taxes to be cut, IMF don't want you to cut taxes. You are under an IMF regime. Even IMF wants you to expand your tax net, and the taxes there you are cutting. Yesterday, when they asked the Minister of State and Minister of Finance about the COVID taxes we are still paying, what did she say? That, they are still giving vaccinations to some Ghanaians. Where? Show me where. Show me where they are giving this kind of, vaccination.
The vaccination.
Show me where.
Well, we're still
Who?
trying to achieve herd immunity, so the Ghana Health Service still encourages people who have not been
Hasn't
vaccinated yet.
hasn't WHO
You know,
announced
to-
that COVID is over?
Yeah, the pandemic is over, but
It's
it,
over.
It doesn't mean that
COVID is
COVID-19
over.
as a disease does not
How
still
many
exist.
people have COVID in Ghana today? How many? Tell me, how many? If you can off your head, tell me, how many have COVID today?
Well, I don't know exactly how many.
Look, these roads that they are going to toll, in the budget, those roads were specific. And if you look at this review, it's specific. Accra Kumasi, Accra Takrade, Takrade Agunan Kwanta Junction, Tema Afienya. These are the roads they are going to toll. So don't make it look as if tolls are coming back and they are going to toll everywhere. And let me ask the question, are they going to build new infrastructure? The toll booths that were there, did they not break it down? Where is that money going to come from? And let's look, today, how much has government borrowed from treasury bills? Let's look at it. How much? This 742 billion, if they had used some of that to bring toll back, would it not cut capital flights in imports of refined petroleum products? If they had used some of this 742 to help the poultry industry, would it not reduce capital flight to help the rice industry? Will it not reduce capital flight to help, if for nothing at all, gold refinery in Ghana? Would it not help us? With our gold, can we not use our gold to shore up our city and help even pay for some of these? And they come to tell us what? They're investing money here, they're investing money there. We are in debt. And look, nobody should make it look as if the next president who is coming in is coming in with a basket of goodies. I pity the next president coming in. If it's going to be MPP, they'll hide things. They won't be transparent. And you realize, if it's not MPP who come back and another party comes back, you will see that we are in a much deeper hole than what they are telling us we are in.
As deep as that cathedral hole?
Well, that whole crowd would be even less. Be even less. At 742 billion debt, it's a deeper hole. It's a deeper hole. It's a deeper hole. What did Honorable Ablakwa tell us this week with regards to the 34 billion?
The ambulance, spare
maintenance.
parts, maintenance.
But let me ask you something. In terms of spare parts, who maintains government vehicles? Which institution maintains government vehicles? Which institution maintains fire engine vehicles? Should we not have one institution that does government maintenance? I thought state transport did that. I thought they had a
I
maintenance.
think there's
place.
also the PWD, the
Yeah.
Public Works Department,
Are they working?
you know, who also do some of these maintenance works.
Are they working?
I believe they should be working.
Okay. So, looking at the budget, for me, it's just a review. We are already in a straitjacket. The straitjacket of the IMF will not give us a chance to do anything. Any president who is coming in 2025 will still have to stick with IMF. But anyway, we say we are getting X amount of money from IMF. Is it not a loan?
Yeah, it is.
Is it not a loan? All these things we are talking about, is it not a loan? Shouldn't we be in a situation where we are generating revenue? And that is how we need to ask that question. How are we going to generate extra revenue apart from these loans? Because you've got to pay the loan back. So what is it that we are going to go into to be able to generate extra revenue? For me, one of the areas that we are not looking at, that this government should have really put its foot on the accelerator, because it has shown positive signs, is tourism. It's tourism. Invest in tourism. It makes more money than oil and gas. It makes more money than gold. Tourism alone. There are certain countries in this world, they don't even have one natural resource. Theirs is just tourism. And they have more money than our country, Ghana, that has obtained natural resources. It's a question of planning.
Right.
It's a question of being able to plan properly.
Okay.
And unfortunately, this government wasn't able to plan effectively with regards to the management of the country's finances.
Our third guest is here in the studio. Professor Sharif Khalid is here in the studio. Prof, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Lantan. And good to see you on the set.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yes, it has, but it's good to see you here finally. Obviously, we're discussing the budget.
Yep.
And you've heard what Mr. Jantua has got to say, but previously, I'm pretty sure you caught some of what Palgrave was saying, with regard to how government is doing well. And this was a very inspiring budget or media budget review presentation, as opposed to what those in your party are saying, calling it uninspiring.
For me, it's actually the most uninspiring budget statement we've ever witnessed. I mean, we've had all these slogans. I'm wondering why Palgrave and the team hasn't given this Ejumapa or any of the interesting names that they have been sticking to.
It's a budget review. It's a budget review.
Yeah, I do understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so any of the slogans that they've been sticking to these. But anyway, if you look at this, I always say all of these communications we're having today are in the pockets of Ghanaians, are in the feelings of Ghanaians, are in the homes of Ghanaians, because they are feeling the heat. We started off with a very overheated economy. A minister or a finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, who had taken us to the bond market and had a spree of borrowing recklessly with nothing to show for in terms of investments, turns around to tell us that we have turned a corner. Right. But even if you are in an overheated economy, you ought to cool off before you can even turn a corner. We have not cooled off as an economy. How is an economy cooling off when a central bank is posting losses? When the CD is one of the worst performing currencies? When inflation is skyrocketing? How is that anything to go by as far as a cooled economy is concerned, let alone turn a corner?
Well, we're beginning to see some signs.
What are the signs?
In the macroeconomic indicators.
No, you see, when we talk about these indicators, whether we like it or not, there's an IMF program, right? We are under an IMF program, remember?
Yes,
we are under a domestic debt exchange, deferred debt, including domestic and external. So all of this has shouldered the economy to bring up an artificial increase in figures. So if that happens, you still would not feel that. Either than that would have reflected on inflation, that would have reflected on currency performance, but that's not happening. So it tells you these are all what? Artificial spikes. In any case, the West African average, right, for performance of the first quarter, Q1, is 6.5%. And we did 4.7. How is that any improvement? You remember Dr. Baumia and Nana Addo compared us under John Dramani Mahama to neighboring Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, how well they were doing. Today, Cote d'Ivoire is at 8.5%. And where are we in terms of growth terms? So if we go by their rule book, war-torn Niger, that is under a military rule, coup d'etat, no stability, no democracy, it's projected to do 11+%. So where are we with all of this? Where are we going? And the uninspiring nature of this budget tells you why the minister cannot even ask for more money. Where are they going to get the money? We are talking
But we are trying to live within our means.
Which means?
That should be a good thing,
No,
isn't
which
it?
means do we
and,
have,
and, and,
no,
and,
you only
and
would have a means.
expenditure.
You only would have a means.
And expenditure,
but when you
like it's
have-
been said, is being cut down on.
No, cut down. They don't have a choice. It's an IMF. They are responding to this is an IMF-centric budget, and they are responding to the IMF. Mind you, the IMF has put a policeman, right, at the central bank to to oversee all of these things happening. So it's not our doing. So we are forced to do or to cut down expenditure. So how is that any prudence? But in any case, I keep asking, what has Ken's bonds and all of the Euro bonds and all of that we've had in the last 7 years, what has it brought back into the economy in terms of job creation, in terms of employment, in terms of businesses and all of that?
Well, they'll tell you a lot has been used for
Yes, let's feel it.
infrastructure projects.
Oh, and what is happening?
Agenda 111 is coming on.
Agenda 111 that has, which of them has been completed and been used?
The minister said in the media budget review that, the Agenda 111 hospitals are at various stages of completion. You heard
they've
him,
always
right?
been at various stages of what? Completion. What has the John Mahama administration not done? We have an airport that's paying itself off.
An airport terminal.
right?
Terminal 3.
Terminal 3. That's an airport in and of itself. I wouldn't even call it a terminal because the other terminal is for domestic.
Yeah.
So that's an airport in its
But the
entirety.
Kumasi airport has also been phase 2. I think
But
phase
who
2 has
started the
also
Kumasi
been,
airport in the first place?
done,
When was Kumasi started?
you know.
When was Kumasi started? And to that extent that they are even taxing commuters or travelers to maintain conveyor belts. So look at the overtaxation we have in this system. So we've even reached a tax saturation to the extent that they cannot even propose any new taxes. We have Bola tax, we have e-levy. E-levy endorsed by Alhaji Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
Well, but he says he'll scrap the e-levy if he becomes president.
Oh, but he went for a cake
So it's
cutting
something
ceremony
that
of it. So
doesn't-
why would he scrap it in any case? Is it not politics as
What, the
usual?
e-levy cake?
There was a cake.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't a cake cutting ceremony for passing e-levy.
There was a cake
It
cutting
was, I
ceremony
think
for
it
what?
was someone's birthday or
Yeah,
so.
but they decided
and
that they would
someone
sell.
and someone decided to bring an e-levy cake.
Yeah, so if you turn
I
up
don't
to
know
that
what
and
else
cut
was,
the cake, you are
Osei-
endorsing e-levy
Osei
because you
Chimese's
are.
birthday or something
Yeah,
like that.
what was Jay's position at the time? Majority leader, a minister for parliamentary business, championing e-levy, and he was one of the chief advocates of e-levy. And what was Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia's position? Sitting vice president and chair of the economic management team. You see, when I say these things, we need to box it in and juxtapose it with the performance of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia as chair of the economic management team. Why do I say this? In the run-up to election 2016, there was an artificial academic platform created for him at the Central University College.
Artificial.
Yes, it was artificial.
How-
Those of us in academia know it was artificial.
How is it artificial?
Right, they say he's a distinguished visiting academic. Create a platform, invite him, put a podium before him. He speaks all he can. You don't even have follow-up questions. We don't do public lectures like that in academia.
I mean, but the NDC have equally, done
Through
speeches
which
and all of
university?
that
Yeah, yeah,
at the UPS.
No,
Yeah,
but the
same
UPSA, it was not under the auspices of the UPSA. We hired a hall and we went to do our lectures. That is a political exercise. But this was an exercise, a charade they pretended was an academic exercise. Today, his own false academic exercise can salvage him. The questions he posed to Emisa Arta, he can't even answer them. He's more interested in dance moves on the campaign trail than any other thing. And the deception of flying a military chopper to Kumasi and riding a bus to Menchia. Who are you deceiving? So the whole campaign.
But should he have taken the chopper to Menchia?
Oh no, it's not about taking, but why are you trying to believe that you are modest by riding a bus when you take a military chopper indeed to Kumasi?
But he's the vice president, so
No,
if he's
we're
traveling
not-
outside
so
of Accra,
nobody's telling you
and he
not
takes
to
a
use
military
I
chopper
don't have
to
a problem
Cuba,
with him.
there's
But
nothing
to
wrong
try
with
to
it.
paint modesty, when in other sense, it's a profligate expenditure.
Taking the military chopper is a
Oh, it's not.
profligate expenditure?
not.
So how should he have gone to Kumasi? By road?
To see the nature of the road.
He's a vice president.
So,
He's a vice president of the country.
so
Security is important.
Oh, so the chopper is more secure.
It is. Air travel is statistically more secure than road travel.
All right.
Statistically safer than road travel.
Lantam, I hope
this
you're
is the
playing
vice
devil's
president.
advocate because the points you are making does not sit well with me.
I don't want to
You're
engage
playing
that time.
double-
Why,
No.
Mr. Jatwa? But it's true.
But before
Statistically speaking,
before we
air
were
travel is
listen,
safer
before choppers,
than traveling
were they
by
not traveling
air.
by road?
Yeah, but now there's a chopper.
You make it look as if
So
you
if
bought-
there's a- so if
you
there's
make
an
it look
option
as
for
if
the
you
chopper
travel by a bus
for the vice
so
president to
everybody
take-
should see that you are being modest
being-
traveling
it's
by
a
a bus.
deception.
So go with
Go
everybody
with
in the bus.
In your bus. That's all I'm saying. So the deception of this
And
government.
the chopper you're traveling in.
Yes.
Are you traveling it for government business or
Or
you're
for-
traveling
for
in it
campaign?
for campaign? Which is which?
There's a distinction here. Lantern.
Who's to pay for that? So
The taxpayer.
taxpayers are paying for your campaign, going to your campaign. Come on.
So it's all these deceptions.
I don't know. Maybe he's paid the military for
No,
it.
well, we can have evidence of that.
I said maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, the
please.
military accounts.
I'm just being the
can
devil's
come out
the
with that.
devil's
But you see,
advocates here.
Lantern, when this happens,
Yeah.
we are in a third quarter, right? Almost getting to the end of the third. We are getting into a third quarter, like the last phase of the year. Third quarters, on their own, are very difficult years or months in a year, even for businesses and governments.
And especially in an election
You know,
year.
and now it's been compounded by an election year and also a domestic debt exchange program and an IMF program. But you see, one thing I keep saying is that we can go to the IMF a million times, as they want to play their PR gimmicks by saying this is the 16th time we're going to the IMF. It's neither here nor there. We can go to the IMF a million times, but this is the worst IMF program we would ever have. Not thanks to the IMF, but thanks to this government and their attitude towards it. Why do I say this? Usually when there's an IMF program, apart from the measures put in place, as we have watchmen at the finance ministry and the central bank to make sure that there are internal controls and cutting down of expenditure, usually there's a certain benefit to the business community through speculation. How does this happen? When you have a tranche coming in to the central bank's account, right? Once it hits the account, the city gets some respite, and it performs considerably well against the dollar to allow businesses to expand, or those businesses that need forex to do their businesses to get them done effectively. What has happened under this tranche is that after the first tranche came in, the IMF program, the second tranche, it took forever, right? And the government was not forthright in having the wherewithal to actually engage external debtors, including China, to get it to come in. So it delayed unduly. So what happens is that those speculators or businessmen who were waiting for this tranche to come in, and it didn't come in and it missed the expected period, got the market disrupted. So they don't trust the market anymore.
Yeah,
they
but
will keep their dollars under their
and
beds.
there was a lot of speculation.
Yeah, but why?
Which
government
has told us doesn't help. The speculation doesn't
help. But who
help.
created the speculation?
The speculation
government
doesn't
created
help.
an enabling ground for this speculation by delaying it unduly. Have we ever cracked a sweat, or any country in the world, a sovereign nation cracked a sweat, right, to access an IMF facility? It's tick box exercises. It's boilerplates.
Yeah, but you have to reach an agreement with your external creditors.
No, but
and if your external creditors are not accepting the terms that you are giving to them, you have to keep on negotiating.
Yes.
And it takes time.
So the only way you keep on negotiating is when you lose credibility. And we had lost economic credibility thanks to Ken Ofori-Atta's borrowing spree on the international market, with nothing to show for it.
May I ask, what is the role of the central bank vis-a-vis government? What is its role? I need to know. Is it that they are there to make sure that there's good management of the finances? Is that their role? Or is their role there to print money for government?
It's not to print money from government. The central bank is a regulator of the financial sector of the country.
Money for government.
They are not supposed to be printing money, and they hold, the government's money, the government's reserves, and all of that. They are not necessarily supposed to be printing money.
In 2021, the Bank of Ghana.
Or when you say print money for government, are you saying as in borrowing from the central bank, as in the central bank, creating money and giving it to the government just like that?
Printing
money.
In 2021, the Bank of Ghana printed 35 billion Ghana cedis for government. 2021. In 2022, the Bank of Ghana printed 42 billion for the government of Ghana. What was this for? To finance government's activities, bringing the total to 77 billion. Is that the responsibility of the Bank of Ghana? That is why we've had unprecedented, and I insist, unprecedented loss for the Bank of Ghana.
All right.
First time, and it's happened with this government.
All right, let me come back to you, Palgrave, on this. I mean, you're hearing the sentiments being shared by Prof here and by Mr. Kwame Jantua here. What are your responses to some of these sentiments?
No, you see, when Lawyer Jantua and Prof go on a certain tangent, it shifts the focus of the conversation. When you are reviewing the media budget, and Lawyer Jantua talks about the purpose of the central bank, whether to print money or not, and all of those, it shifts the focus.
But it adds to the debt, doesn't it?
Oh, we have already spoken about the debt.
The fact that we've already
No,
spoken
we
about
can't
it, that
dwell.
we need to see where
we-
it comes from.
We can't dwell on. We have already spoken about the debt. Other governments came and didn't do anything about the debt. They left it. Our government has come, and I've said that we have had some breathing space, and that's important and that's significant. You know, when I look at some projects that President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo has done, it's overwhelming. So overwhelming. You know, so overwhelming, so impressive in the health sector. You know, it's just amazing. In education, it's just amazing. The roads, I can mention a lot, but let me just go to roads because you see.
You said you've constructed 12,000 kilometers of road.
Oh yes, you see, when I'll go to the roads and I'll state it emphatically.
When was the last time you changed your shock absorber?
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
The last time I changed my shock absorber,
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Are
Yes,
you sure?
yes, 4 years ago.
Oh, but 2 days ago you're telling me that you had to go and buy a new shock absorber.
No, that is not true. Please, I beg you. That is not true. I beg you.
Propaganda,
I beg you.
propaganda.
Senior propaganda. Pa. See, let's look at the road networks.
That's on the lighter note.
Let's look at the road networks and compare those road networks to what the SWAL government did. And sometimes I don't even want to do the comparison because you see, government is voted to be able to come and do more.
Perpetual secession.
Exactly. Pokwasi interchange, Tema Motorway Phase 1, Obechebi interchange, Tamale interchange,
Still ongoing.
East Legon underpass,
Still ongoing.
Suhum interchange,
Still ongoing.
Nungwa interchange,
Still ongoing.
Adringalo interchange,
Still ongoing.
PTC interchange,
Still ongoing.
Sino Hydro, Flower Pot,
Still ongoing.
Bomb Barrier, Dowenya, Pram, Savannah interchanges,
Still
Obechebi Lamte
ongoing.
interchange Phase 2.
But these are ongoing projects.
Ongoing
have you not?
projects.
Oh, some are completed.
Which some?
I can mention.
Which some?
Pokwasi is completed.
No,
Pokwasi
they're still
interchange.
doing,
no,
you know,
Still doing it.
Pokwasi
ancillary
interchange.
works,
No,
you
the
know, and
interchange itself.
Or the
No.
interchange itself.
Yes,
We
I'm
don't
talking
talk-
about
we talk about
interchange.
every-
Interchange
everything.
itself.
Okay,
So
the
apart
interchange,
from the
the
interchange,
interchange
which
is
other one?
completed. The Tema Motorway Phase 1 is also completed.
Which one is that?
Obechebi
Which
Lamte interchange Phase 1 is completed. This is data that I'm picking from the Ministry of Roads and Highways completed roads project between 2017 January to December 2022. Completed. That's the data. I mean, I can share this with you, Lantam. You know.
I mean, and
I'll
all
share this with
the
you.
and the Bombaria and all of those interchanges are in there because I know the
Bombaria-
and all of those ones are still. I mean,
Ongoing.
Yeah,
Yes.
those are
So I was
ongoing.
telling you those that are completed and those that are ongoing.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Bombaria ongoing, Ajingalo ongoing, Ningwa
The kind of
ongoing,
money you've got, you should have been
Flower
able to
Pot
complete
ongoing.
them.
Okay. I will not be distracted by Lawyer Dantra. Ahafu. I'm going to give you a regional balance, a regional breakdown. Ahafu. That dear Soba Trebidi Road. The roads have been completed. It's about 373.70 length kilometer. Ashanti region. Rehabilitation of 100-kilometer road in Kumasi by contractor. The upgrading of Asankari Krofa Dransa Road, 28.5 kilometer. Krofa Brantokrom Majiba Road, 20.5 kilometer. Upgrading of Mampong Kofiase Road, 14 kilometers. A lot of roads that we have done, and I'm going on and on. Regional breakdown of roads that has been constructed. Bono Ahafo, Bono region. The Doma Ahinkro roads in the Bono region. We have asphalted that. The Bono East region, upgrading of Pitogene Waraso Road. We have done that. Central region, reconstruction of Badriase Adieso Road. We have done that. Bodriase Road. Thank you. Eastern region, the dual carriage from Kwafukrom to Apedra on the Accra and Kumasi Highway N6, 31.7 kilometer dual carriage. We have completed that. And on and on and on. Greater Accra region,
Right.
Pokwasi interchange,
Right.
Tema Motorway interchange, Otano School Junction, and on and on and on and
All
on
right.
and on.
All
You
right.
cannot state,
Okay.
you know, if you are a patriotic Ghanaian and you want to be very objective to the leadership of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. You cannot state that all these constructions that has been done, the ongoing of the Kumasi Market Phase 2, KJTR, the 5,000 capacity stadium for the youth, the Quadransu Model Creative Arts Senior High School, the John Ajokum Kufuor Senior High School at Daba. I mean, Wafa is here. He knows. The Jache Bosomtrain Girls Senior High School, construction of the KNEST Obuasi campus, construction of the Kumasi Obuasi railway line that has commenced, the Buankra Inland Port. I'm aware. The Buankra Inland Port.
Don't even go there.
Oh, Buankra Inland Port.
Don't go there. Don't go there. You haven't finished it.
Buankra Inland Port has been there.
I
didn't say we are
Don't
finished.
go there.
I didn't say we are finished.
Don't go there.
I didn't say we are finished.
Politics
But anyway,
around
we've
this.
run out of time.
This phase
We've run
one
out of time.
of the
So we have
Buankra
to wrap
Inland
up.
thing.
Yeah, so I'll give it a
So
last word
Lanta,
to you.
I'm very grateful.
Last
You look
word
at
to you.
you look at all these
Last
projects.
word to you.
You look at all these projects. The Buankra Inland Port.
Okay.
A number of
Prof,
projects that has
let me
been
hear
done.
from you very,
Phase
very
one,
briefly because we have to go.
about 70%, I'm told.
Jachi Pramso.
Yeah.
The road.
We have to go now.
The Jachi Pramso, the investment he's talking about.
Yeah.
We have an education minister from Jachi Pramso who is a sitting MP. All right. The regional chairman is from Jachi Pramso. The Pramso Road. Go and see the kind of state it is in as we speak. Today.
Okay.
So what are you talking about?
All right, very well. Unfortunately, we've run out of time here, and so we'd have to end.
You know, well, Prof is
end
not
it.
aware.
Thank you very much.
That all these roads
Mr. Kwabe
and the
Jacqua is
construction.
a member of the CPP. Thank you very much for coming. Palgrave Boachi Dankwa, government spokesperson on governance and security, and Prof. Sharif Khalid. Thank you very much all for coming. And this is where we will end Starr, the morning Star here on Star 103.5 FM. Have a wonderful weekend.